Hi guys, so today we're replacing the rear brakes on this Kia Picanto. It's a 17 plate. I already had it up in the air doing the front control arm, so I've bypassed the jacking and securing stage, but it is secure with an axle stand just there off the floor, giving us great access to these brakes. They are sticking very slightly, there's very slight bind in it, which we will be investigating a little bit further as we change it. But obviously because we're at the stage already, we're just going to proceed now with our safety checks. If you don't know what they are, I will put a link to my 3-stage brake check when you're doing a brake change, either in the description or on the screen somewhere below. So yeah, let's just crack on with that. So once we're happy that we can't see any defaults at this stage, we can proceed a little bit further into removing the caliper and the disc and the carrier, which I'll take you through those stages now. That's the emphasis of this video. But you need to make sure at this point that there is no damage, because you don't want to strip it off and then have to explain to the customer if they come back for more parts. So if you can assess it as best as you can now, you've got a better plan going ahead. The first thing we're going to do now is remove this little grub screw here. These are included in the balancing process, so it is important that you put these back on. I know a lot of people say it's just there to make the disc, hold the disc, make it easier to put the wheel on. But that's not actually the case. They do serve as part of the balancing, and it will affect noise and vibration and things like that if it's not put back. Maybe minutely, but it will still affect it. We're then going to move on to these 14mm bolts here on the back, and then we should be able to get the caliper off. You might need to hold these retaining screw pins here, but let's just see how it goes first. So we put the caliper here to one side. It's been held on the brake cable, so there's actually no tension on this flexi at all, so that's fine. So now what we're going to do is pop these pads out and give everything a good clean up, take this carrier off and clean it off of the vehicle. Now, as you can see, these are pretty seized in there. They don't want to budge, so I'm just going to have to get the hammer in there and literally just hammer them off. And this is why it's important to have them checked every 12,000 miles or 12 months, just to make sure everything's working as they should. Now with them all out, the pry bar's got stuck in there. We're going to use 14mm to undo these two caliper retaining bolts back, carrier retaining bolts back here, sorry, and pull that carrier off. Right, now with those two off, it'll just come off nice and easy, and hopefully so with this disc. Days. Now it's just to clean it all up and reassemble. Obviously we will be carrying out our checks. For this particular car we'll be using Febby discs and blueprint pads, which are OE original equipment quality matching, so these are the good stuff. So now what I'm doing here is using a brake wind back tool to wind back this caliper to make room for the new pads to go in. So if you can see, feel the hole there, but I've applied a little bit of grease to the inside of the boot. That will stop that from swinging around with it and tearing. Keep going till it bottoms out. You don't want to push it any harder than it has to be. And that's it, done. time to clean this up, get the new disc back on. And now we're going to refit the carrier. We have just nipped them up there with a gun. We will be coming back and doing them up to torque specification. Jump straight into fitting the pads. Okay, so they're in now. You can see that they're moving freely in there. I'm just going to put those pins back in. And then refit the caliper. That caliper is on now, but it was a pain. What I ended up doing is taking the handbrake cable off here. Just give me a little bit of extra room and leverage on it here, and it's come back on. So just bear that in mind for the future. Now with that caliper on, bolts are torqued to spec. If you rotate this wheel, well this hub, you see that that is moving a lot freer. It was just those seized pads that was causing it to slightly bind. And you might be looking at this disc thinking, oh wow, that looks like good quality. Reason for that is, it's because it is. It's a nice Febby. Febby actually make OE products for a lot of Asian vehicles. This being a Korean one is probably included. So yeah. Now with that done, we pump the pedal so the pads are sat on there properly now. And then we're going to chuck the wheel back on and repeat the same process on the other side. So that's the job. It's a good one. Thanks for watching, guys. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye.